Welcome to the Round 7 WAFL Wrap, fresh off a plane from Melbourne, the last night's Foxtel Cup. But we're going to cover off some of last week's games and we've got a bumper edition today. First on Saturday afternoon, fixture saw East Fremantle host East Perth at Shark Park. East Perth got the jump on East Fremantle with some impressive ball movement. East Fremantle clawed their way back into the second half to trail by 10 points at the major change. In the third, it was all East Perth, who had a healthy 8-goal lead heading into the final quarter. However, East Fremantle again showed fight in the last quarter, led by Brett Peake, who ended up with 4 goals to bring the margin back to 10 points at the final siren. Down at Fremantle Oval, the Bulldogs and the Tigers were chasing their third wins for the season. South Fremantle picked up where they left off last week with some impressive ball movement through the midfield, giving their forwards first use. Ben Saunders was again dominant up forward with his fantastic contested marking and finished up with 4 goals. Claremont made a mini fight back in the second to get within 3 goals, but South Fremantle proved too strong as Paul Hazelby's Bulldogs went on to their 3rd straight win for the season. Perth made the trip down to Peel to Bendigo Bank Stadium. Paul Bevan was dominant, showing why he was picked in the state squad again with 19 disposals and a couple of goals. Perth led at every change, however Peel got within a goal by the 3rd quarter. Perth were too strong in the last, running out winners eventually by 29 points. Then in our match around, the twilight game held at Medibank, we saw the top of the table clash between Subi and Swan Districts, and it lived up to expectations. Matt Dukes bobbed up forward as a small forward and kicked 6 for Swan Districts, and Graham Jetta was solid across halfback, showing his class with this fantastic mark. Then in an 8-goal to 2 last quarter, Swan Districts ran out, winning by 43 points. Okay, we're going to run through our Round 7 match review panel and tribunal wrap. We had no senior players attend the tribunal this week after Subiaco Reece Waters accepted a 2-week penalty from the match review panel. That was assessed as reckless, high impact, high contact, which is a level 4, which is 3 weeks, but with Reece's good record that came down to 2 weeks. And a striking charge against Tim Gapin from Swan Districts was withdrawn by the match review panel. Our Amy Waffle Player of the Week, we mentioned him earlier in the wrap-up, was Matthew Dukes from Swan Districts. Fantastic performance in the twilight game on Saturday in the top of the table clash. He kicked 6 goals in a match-winning effort. And our Powerade Colts young gun for Round 7 is Brendan Tingey from Peel Thunder. Tingey racked up contested possessions all over the ground, but it was his strong tackling pressure that really impressed us this week. As I mentioned at the front, fresh off a plane from Melbourne, had the pleasure to be able to go to Etihad Stadium and see West Perth represent WA in the Foxtel Cup last night, and it was a fantastic contest for those that watched. 42,000 viewers with the ratings, which is fantastic, and the AFL are absolutely wrapped with that. Last night, West Perth, as I mentioned, travelled to Etihad to take on the VFL Premiers Box Hill. West Perth started as the underdogs against the Box Hill side that had 10 Hawthorn listed players. However, it was the Falcons who led for the majority of the contest in a hard-fought match. Box Hill came back and grabbed the lead late in the last quarter, but West Perth ran out 2-point winners, 7 goals 11.53 to 7 goals 9.51. That advances them now to a semi-final that will be played in Perth in a few weeks. We'll give you an update on that. Okay, we're going to run through the Round 8 fixtures. We start this weekend with the special event, which is our Colt Super Round, which has been a successful program that we've been running over the last couple of years. It's an absolute recruiter's smorgasbord. We've got 3 games of Colts footy back-to-back down at East Fremantle Oval on Saturday. In the league footy, we've got East Perth hosting Claremont at Medibank, which should be a really, really good tussle. And then we've got a great game up at Steelball Oval between Swan Districts and East Fremantle, as all the teams are starting to jockey for that final 4 position. And down at Lathlane Park, Perth versus Subi, which also should be an absolute cracker. And for all the mums, we've got a game for you on Mother's Day. If you've got nothing else to do and you want to head out and watch some quality WAFL footy, West Perth versus Peel Thunder at Arena Joondalup. And that is a full day's actions. Colts at 9, reserves at 11.25, and the league game bounced down at 2.05. We had some great coverage during the week on the announcement of our initial WAFL State Team squad that's heading to Sydney to play the NEFL at Spotless Stadium as a curtain raiser to the Greater Western Sydney versus Richmond, which will be a great opportunity for our players to get away and play on one of the brand new stadiums in Australia. The squad's been announced. We're really happy with where it's positioned at the moment. Saying it's an initial squad, there will be some players that in form over the next couple of weeks will be really putting pressure on those already selected. They've got 4 training sessions in the lead up to the trip away, the last of those being at Patterson Stadium on Wednesday the 21st of May, which will also include our jumper presentation. The team then jumps on a plane on Thursday. We have a full day's preparation in Sydney on Friday, and then bounce down 10 a.m. on the 24th of May. Should be a fantastic game and we're really looking forward to it. WAFL fans, make sure you follow us through social media across Facebook, Twitter, for all the latest as it happens. And you can also follow us on Instagram at WAFL Official.